There we go. Hey guys, it is the Nerdquest Podcast. If the quality sounds really shitty, like it's back to our older podcast, that's because we are recording on my computer again. We have my phone going too, but the last couple times we tried recording podcasts, technical difficulties at the ass. So we're ensuring this podcast will get out.
And we're still trying to find a microphone that is both inexpensive and effective.
Yeah. Today we are talking about Harry Potter 4, Goblet of Fire. We have two guests. We have someone who is very excited because she loves this book.
God, I keep thinking she's going to deck me with it.
And she was actually on... This is her second Pottercast. Third Pottercast?
Third.
Yep. Well then.
I was on Harry Potter 1, Star Wars, and now today.
Yes. And this is... Nikki. Welcome back, Nikki. And as always, surprise to see him back, we have James.
The amazing Gimp.
Yes. Excited to have him here. Now, Goblet of Fire for me is one of those books... Nikki, calm the fuck down.
It's my favorite.
As you can hear, it's her favorite.
Yeah.
For me, there's no Potter book that I hate. That I was like, I don't want to read that. I would read Goblet.
There's a difference between least favorite and hatred.
Yes.
I don't know from the fifth book.
And even then, with Goblet of Fire kind of sits over Chamber of Secrets, where I don't hate it, but I don't necessarily like. I'd read it again,
right?
But I wouldn't exactly enjoy the whole process.
It doesn't really speak to you as much as some of the others.
I burned
to me on a spiritual level.
Calm the fuck down.
I burned through every Harry Potter book when I read it. Goblet of Fire is actually the only one where I physically took a break towards the middle of it and had to go read something else because it was like...
Too many motherfucking words.
Not too many motherfucking words. It just felt like there were a lot of times where it was just drolling on. It was like, this doesn't need to be in there.
At least it's not like Tolkien description.
That takes...
I like Tolkien description.
He takes 6 pages to describe one leaf, alright?
He took 100 pages to describe the council at, I'm blanking. Come on now. This is my thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so, as we hear, Nikki loves it. I'm neutral on it. James, how do you feel about this?
I'm neutral on it, too. It's been a long time since I've read it. The last time I read it was... Yes, I would like to borrow it. The last time I read it was in 4th grade while I was taking the Wassel test.
Hey, same here. That's another
I haven't read it again since.
That was the first time I read it.
Nikki, I'm glad your first time was something you really cared about.
Actually, I think my story with this book goes back even farther than that.
You can't see this, and I might actually take a picture and upload it to the video.
I think it needs to be a video picture.
My book is pretty...
beat to shit.
Well loved.
The spine is trying to separate itself. It's
loved.
Screaming, kill me in agony.
It's trying to split from the book because it knows that you can't have both of them at the same time if they split up.
The book has spina bifida, too.
Bless you. No, my sister's best friend let her borrow the 4th book on tape. And I remember loving the first chapter so much in the Riddle House that I would listen to that on tape over and over and over again. And then even now, if I'm like, I don't want to read a whole book, and I kind of want to read something Harry Potter-y, and I can't find Quidditch Through the Ages, I will just open the 4th book and read the first chapter.
Are those... Okay, I thought those looked like, for a second, they looked like watermarks from setting a glass on it.
Yeah.
No, that...
As a coaster?
There was tape on it, and
it's
I took the
splooge
tape
marks
off.
because she loves the book.
I guess.
Ew.
Alright, Josh, how do you feel about the book?
I can't hate it. That's the problem. Like,
right.
It's Harry Potter. It's impossible to hate.
Yes, but there's an extra reason that I can't do that, and that's because dragons.
Yeah. The general consensus tends to be that it's no one's... Normally, it's not the person's favorite book.
Normally.
It's kind of, besides Nikki and a couple other people I know, it's not everyone's favorite book, but they still...
A lot of people say it's a filler, and I can see...
it
is a filler.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
It's so full of good, fun things, and I love the Yule Ball, and I love the Tribe.
There are chapters in there that are filler, and you could be like, you could probably sit there and be like, you know, if this chapter wasn't in here, the book still would flow pretty well. But, I mean...
it wouldn't be so droning.
It's like a Christmas or Halloween special on a TV series.
I look at it as Rowling's take at trying to write a Tolkien book. Because she did... There was a lot of description in this one. She took a lot. She did take a lot of time to describe things in that, and that's why I feel a lot of this is filler too. But
reason why I like it, because Well, it's got so much, like, social stuff. It kind of puts me in Hogwarts more than the other books.
I see
guess
that.
so.
Most of the books are about... Actually, it does have a bit of a feel of filler, but it does include that important thing of all of the other books are all about some epic mission of some kind.
Right.
This has 3 epic missions and 1 final battle.
This one is mostly about how everything at Hogwarts interacts with each other.
Yeah, and on top
which makes it a good addendum to the 3rd book, which is what opens us up to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's she brought up a good point of it being a social aspect, or showing a lot of the social aspect, because we find and opening up the world, because you see that it opens up that there's more than one. Up until this point, as far as you know, Hogwarts is the only wizarding school. This opens it up, the fact that there's more than one wizarding school. And they're bringing it, and we got 3 schools together in one, so there's going to be a lot of socializing.
Yeah,
and so I guess where she brings that in about the whole social aspect is a good point, because what are you going to do when you have complete foreigners come around? It's the same thing as getting a foreign exchange student at school.
But
you're going to want to talk to them. Yeah, you're going to want to talk to them. You want to socialize. So I guess that is
especially Fleur Delacour.
Victor Crumb.
She's part Vila.
I know, right?
See, and you get to learn about Vilas and stuff.
Jake, I think our new mascot should be a Vila.
It is. It's Emma Watson and Ivana Lynch, who are, you can't convince me otherwise, they are part Vila, because god damn.
But
hey,
I think Ivana Lynch is too short to be part Vila.
Remember when we met Ivana Lynch?
I do.
Thank you,
Caleb Bodie.
Thank you, Caleb Bodie, if you're listening to this.
But back to the book, I did notice there was one thing in particular that stuck out to me about the tasks.
Yeah.
It seems a lot more like Rowling was trying to incorporate another important part of magical lore and stuff into it, and that's the epic quests. Like, for example, the first task, slaying the dragon.
Yeah, not slaying, but
stealing.
Well,
its
if
young.
you think about it, they've mentioned several times that there have been restrictions placed on treatment of magical creatures.
Yeah, I'm sure when the Triwizard Tournament was first around, it was literally slaying a dragon.
Well, that combined with the fact that there are dragon sanctuaries.
Yeah.
Which the only types of in our world.
You would know that.
Yes. Well, in our world, the only things that get sanctuaries are endangered species.
True.
So instead, they have it set up so that
Muggles don't know that they exist.
Well.
They've talked about before how rare dragons are. When Hagrid got the dragon egg and Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone.
Damn it, St. George.
They talk about how rare it is to have an actual dragon egg. So the fact that they have 4 dragons in one sitting probably speaks a lot about how rare they are.
And if you think about it, a lot of it's setting it up so that the contestants are going to have to kill the dragon anyway, because it's already been established that dragons hatch from eggs.
Yes.
You steal a golden egg from the dragon, that's going to keep its protective instincts going, like trying to steal a baby cub from a bear, only more dangerous. And
they also almost insinuate that it's the Norwegian Ridgeback it's the Hungarian Horntail that Harry takes on.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Like I said, been a while since I read this. In the movie, they almost insinuate that the dragon does die when it crashes through the bridge and falls down into the cavern.
Yeah.
Or chasm.
And I think it's implied, but not directly stated, that after Crumb did something to, I think he had the Chinese fireball. Or was that Cedric?
Yeah, because Cedric had the.
He had the Swedish short snout.
Yes, Swedish short snout.
Fleur Delacour had the
ugly one.
I don't remember.
I'm just kidding. No, dragon is
I
ugly.
think she had a Welsh green. Yeah.
Welsh green, that was it.
And so Crumb had the Chinese fireball.
Did they say he tranced it somehow?
No, he that was Cedric. Crumb took out its eyes.
What?
Oh yeah, Crumb flat.
That's so hardcore.
It is.
Page 337.
You're shitting me right now.
You better.
Yes. But no, yeah, he. It doesn't actually say like he took out its eyes. It said he did something to its eyes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, blinding it is a good. Well, I mean, not a good idea to do to an animal. But if you're trying to get an egg, this animal can't see me. Well, I'm gonna go get its egg now.
Yeah. Yes and no. Yes, it seems like a good idea. But for example, bullfights. The most dangerous bull is one that's mostly blind because they will attack everything. So,
But if they're attacking everything, you can slip by.
not necessarily. I mean, for example, something that breathes fire, blind it. It's going to attack everything. What does that mean? Everything in like probably a 6-mile radius is going to be burned to a crisp. And it can, I guarantee you, it can hear movement.
Mm-hmm.
And
Probably feel it.
those nostrils are not just for show.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I will bet you they'll be able to find your ass.
Another part of the whole open world aspect, and I think Jamie, you're bringing up a good point now that I'm thinking about it, is that I think Rowling, after the third book, Rowling really did take this one to really open it up and expand the world and show that there's a lot more wizarding world to see than just Hogwarts.
And this was
Hogsmeade.
and it's a little bit lighter in tone than a lot of the books, especially
For the most part.
Especially because right afterwards we start descending really down into the darkness.
Yeah, no
Yes.
kidding.
That's another reason why I love this book so much, because maybe Rowling could have made it doing a little shorter of a book, and now the Dark Lord's here. But it builds up so much anticipation because, A, Harry is stressed up enough because he's got this task, and these tasks. But, he's having these dreams about Voldemort. Dumbledore is kind of sensing that he's coming and things are not going to be so good, and it all leads up to now he's back, and you're kind of boned.
Huh. Someone an evil dark wizard that attempted to commit genocide's coming back. Things may not be so good.
Weird.
And yet the Prime Minister still doesn't want to acknowledge
God, I hate
Corruption in the Ministry of Magic.
That's the fifth book, and we'll get to that on the fifth podcast.
It's all over. I mean, it's really
he just doesn't. Yeah, the fact that he just doesn't want to admit that, hey, Voldemort's not back.
Right.
Really?
It ain't happening,
motherfucker.
I'm a bitch.
But back to the whole opening the world. I did really enjoy the Quidditch World Cup, and I wish in the movie they expanded a little bit more on it.
Yeah.
I understand why they didn't.
I understand why they didn't, but I think if it's going along the lines of really opening up the Wizarding world, it would have been a really good way to see, hey, this is how wizards interact when they're in a big at a big event together, and it doesn't involve work or school. It's just them all having a good time. So I think it would have been really cool, and to see Fred and George placing the bets and all that. And I really wish they had focused more on the what are they called, the omninoculars or whatever they're called.
Those are cool.
It's the binoculars Harry gets, and he's able to
zoom in and
replay. It's like DVR right there.
It'd be so cool.
And to see Crumb catch the snitch.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Because that was a really cool sequence reading in the book.
You don't even hear about Ludo Bagman in the movie.
He's not in it at all.
No, and neither.
He isn't, is he?
No, because Fudge takes his place in the fourth one.
Oh, he does. Yep, you're right, he does.
Because
right.
Yeah, because Bagman's the one who announces the game, but Fudge does it in the movie. And that annoyed me because I love Ludo Bagman, especially because he's in there 15 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
But you get a whole, you understand that he's got a gambling problem.
Mm-hmm.
You understand that he's actually kind of sleazy, but he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
It did really well at rounding him out.
Yeah.
For me, I think I would like to have seen Crumb catch the snitch for an entirely different reason, because we have a little bit of Cedric's power at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of have that idea. Catching the snitch really sets up what Crumb can do. It sets
and the
him
limits he's willing to go to, because if I remember right, he dives straight into the ground to catch this thing. It literally crashes into the ground.
But it would show, instead of telling us like the movie does, it would show that he's not. It would show that he's a powerful person.
Yeah.
But it would also show that he's not the brightest bulb in the tanning bed.
Which was a big part of it.
Because they're losing. They're losing by a lot. Catching the snitch will not bring you up to enough points. It'll just end the game and make you lose.
What was the bet the twins had? Ireland wins, but Bulgaria catches the snitch.
Yeah. And then that's exactly what happened. And Ludo's like, here, have some fake money, bitches.
No, that was some bullshit.
That made me so mad.
He was trying to pay off goblins.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? They loaned him money and they had it. Okay, let's get this paid back at 150% interest.
Goblin.
But no, I feel like it really would have been a good thing to show that, because besides Floor, up until the Triwizard Tournament, you get a feeling that it shows how powerful and
the contestants
are going to be.
You don't know.
Yeah, at the time you don't know, but like once you find out who they are, you can go back and be like, okay, these guys are hard asses, and they're tough. They're going to be tough competition.
And even if it didn't show Floor at the beginning, could have concentrated on the Vila that were
the
court.
And when they were trying to escape, they're walking through the forest, and the Vila are like sitting there, and like there's kind of some crazy shit going on, and then these guys are just like, I'll do anything for you.
Yeah. Well, and that would, because Floor is part Vila, that would kind of influence our thoughts about Floor's power.
And they took time to point out that Floor was part Vila.
Yes.
When they first introduced her. So I mean, that's obviously got to play. That's obviously going to play a hand when they first introduce Vilas, and then they introduce that she is part Vila. Because you got to think like, well, what kind of power is she going to have over the contestants, or just over everyone?
Also, which is funny because she's like really bad.
I think
she was kind of cute in the movie. I feel like they should have found I hate criticizing people on how they look, but I feel like they should have found someone. Because how they describe Vilas,
beautiful but not cute.
I don't
know. I think she was almost exactly how I pictured a Vila.
Right,
she
but
was
that's
really tall.
I pictured a pointier nose, but other than that, yeah, pretty much.
I pictured someone like
she wasn't pure Vila either.
No,
she wasn't pure Vila. And we never get a chance to see what a Vila actually looks like. Right. For some reason, when I hear Vilas, and I don't know why this drew me to the thought of it, I almost thought of female Twi'leks from Star Wars.
Okay. It's because of the connotation.
It's the sexual connotation that Twi'leks give off, and that the Vilas are supposed to give off. So I guess I kind of made that connection.
Can we just agree real quick that Vila are like 98% succubi?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So just making sure that's noted.
I always pictured Vila as really, really like not like shiny like metal, but like glowy.
Yes.
With long blonde hair and naked.
Like. You know,
so I would be
so Twilight.
No, a perfect
pixies, but like big pixies,
or a Swedish woman.
Yeah,
but like
I love my Swedish woman.
Okay, shiny.
Quick break, just because I wanted to. My brother just sent me this, and I wanted to share it. My brother, for our listeners, took the SATs today, and he just sent me. When I finished the SAT and the proctor was collecting the test, all I could think was, "That's it, folks. The infamous goat from Fallout 3." For those of you who don't know, meaning Jake
and me,
but shush. In Fallout 3, at the very beginning, during character creation, it helps.
I think you're doing this just to plug in your favorite video game into a completely irrelevant podcast.
Anyway,
no, go ahead.
But it's a test that the character takes early on in the game. It registers their skills, and I just thought that was. I'm really proud of my little brother for that plug.
Nice.
All right,
but back to Harry Potter.
Yes.
We were talking about Vilas.
Yes, we were.
And how shiny they are.
And how we pictured them. But yeah, for some reason, when in the movies,
shiny, I'm gone.
I was looking forward to seeing the movie because I pictured Flora a little bit more beautiful than, and a little bit more attractive than the actress portrayed her.
Yeah.
She, don't get me wrong, attractive actress, very attractive.
Yes.
But I was just picturing someone just a little bit more.
I think that's on a totally embarrassing note, but that's how I felt about Edward Cullen. I thought that they could have picked a much more attractive person. Well, no, it does tie in, because he played Cedric Diggory.
Yes, he did.
What I was really looking forward to, that we didn't see a whole lot of, was, and this was touched on in the books, and I just wish we got a little bit of this, the variety of spells that were used.
There was.
It specifically mentions a bunch of them, and I kind of wanted to see more of the spells from like Durmstrang and Bobaton and things like that. Like I would have killed to see Crumb fight a dragon.
I'd
kill Nikki for that.
I loved the introduction. I love the introduction to Accio, and I feel like they did that perfectly with
Hermione and Harry practicing.
They actually never showed Hermione and Harry practicing,
which was a little sad.
It's in the book.
It's in the book.
But no, because in the movie or in the book, it describes Harry as before he even starts going after the dragon, he just turns around and shouts it, and then just kind of sits there and waits. And so I was like, I was reading the book. I'm like, so he's just standing there waiting for his broom.
Like, I mean, like, how awkward would that be? You're in the audience, and you're like, what is he doing?
Why is he just standing there?
What I would love to hear is what the minds of all the experienced wizards were thinking, because it's like, Accio, wait. What is he doing?
Dragon, come here, I want to hug you.
On top of that,
seduce the dragon.
Well,
Dragons are snakes.
To kind of bring it full circle, why didn't he just say Accio Golden Egg?
It was guarded, wasn't it? I think they mentioned that, don't they?
No, but it would be reasonable to assume that
You can't just do that easy
I
because
said
that's what everyone
reasonable.
would have
I'm
done.
not-
Give it a shot at least. You never know until you try.
I was
agree
thinking
with
about
you,
that when you were
but-
talking about the broom. I think they said something
Did
about
they?
that.
Yeah, they
Did they?
I mean, they
Let's
might
look it
have.
up,
But you
kids.
read the book 1,000 times.
Rule book.
But,
oh, sorry.
No,
D&D.
I like how they did it in the movie, how immediately after, as he walks out of that tunnel, action starts. And he's running around. Because, like, could you imagine if it could have added a little bit comic relief to the movie.
Yeah.
But if he just walks out of the tunnel, sees the dragon, goes, okay, Accio Firebolt, and he's just standing there like, hey.
Well, and you know, there's a couple other reasons I'm sure. Like, one, they already are shelling out a bunch of money to even make the dragon.
Yeah.
Let's get our money's worth out of this.
Might as well use as much as we
Not
can.
to mention,
kidding.
you have an opportunity to have someone fight a dragon.
Not-
Do not mess this up.
Not to mention, it was really cool how he mounted the broom because he's just like jumps from behind a rock onto it, and I like it because anything that
cringed a
involves
little.
anything that involves broom work and flying around, I've always liked because it's the closest I get to see in sports in Harry Potter. And stuff.
But it is a sport.
And it just showed like how experienced and how awesome of a flyer Harry was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Side note, they need to release like collector's editions of the books that have indexes in the back and maps and
That'd be,
compendiums.
my money
of all the
cannot
spells.
exit my wallet fast enough.
How have I not thought about? You guys don't understand. My mind was just blown thinking about that. How have they not done that?
I know.
They need to do it for the 10th anniversary. Oh
Ew,
wait, the
what
10th
is
anniversary of
that?
the first book's already come out.
There are mysterious stains in this book.
Ew.
Shut up and take my money for the collector's edition.
Yeah, but seriously, that would
Yes.
be awesome. I
Oh
would
my
love
God.
25th anniversary, maybe.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we
Spell
gotta wait that
lists.
long.
Spell
Anyway,
lists, potion
I
ingredient
can't find it
lists.
right now because I actually want to talk. But there was another reason why I identified with this and the second book so much because I was bullied like none other. And in the second book
That's actually how I came to Harry Potter.
and the fourth book, Harry, like especially the fourth book, people are wearing pins that kind of say, you know what, fuck you, Harry, you suck.
We want you to lose.
And
Yeah.
when you you already feel like an outcast anyway because you know your own backstory and you know that you did not put your name in this cup and now
Yeah.
everyone hates you
And assumes
for
that you
no
did.
reason. And it's like I kind of related to that because
That makes
people
sense.
that I didn't even know in middle school and like elementary school, people I didn't know would like tease me and like say terrible things, and it's like I don't know you. Why?
Let me
you
get
saying
lost in
this?
the world of Harry Potter.
And then it's like to see someone you look up to like Harry Potter, even though he is my least favorite character, he's still one of my favorite characters.
This did bring up that brings up a really good point because I saw a Tumblr post where is Harry Potter's anyone's favorite character because like you never
I
really
don't
hear
think so.
you never really hear it from anybody. You never really hear like Harry Potter's my favorite character.
My oldest sister, who I actually got Harry Potter from, like
Yeah.
she started reading it, then I started reading it.
Yeah.
Harry is her favorite character, but she's the only person I've ever heard say that. Ever.
Harry, and it's not saying that Harry's a bad character, but I think that saying when people say that, it just goes to show the world and the characters that Rowling set up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be
Exactly.
the first series where the main character isn't a unanimous decision on the favorite character. Except, I love Harry. Harry is up there and one of my favorite
Well,
characters.
that applies to Lord of the Rings too. I don't know anyone who says, "Oh yeah, Frodo's my favorite
But
character."
Frodo's kind of a little bitch.
Exactly.
I love Frodo.
If Sam or Aragorn or Legolas or Gandalf are not your favorite characters, you're reading the wrong
What about
stuff.
Bilbo?
Pippin.
Bilbo's a G. I hate all hobbits and Bilbo's a G.
I love hobbits, so.
But no, like Sam. Sam, if you don't love Sam, get the
Yeah.
fuck out of here.
But like,
You read the Silmarillion? He does some cool shit.
Yeah.
but like,
We need to have Lord of the Rings.
back to Harry Potter.
Yeah, back to Harry Potter.
When you see somebody that you're like, you've been reading these books, you know this character, and then you see them go through something you're going through, it's like, oh my god, I get you.
I think Harry goes through what my theory is main character syndrome, where he doesn't really, for the most part, register on the reader because we're reading most of it from his side and his perspective.
Yes.
Whereas you see all of these other characters entering, and they have a little more of an impact because of it.
I think it comes more along the line that like Rowling tries to put you in Harry's head and tries to make you Harry.
Right.
So it's not really focusing on Harry himself. It's focusing on, like you said, the people in his life.
Right.
So you're gonna as a person, you're not gonna sit here I'm my favorite person in the world. You're gonna sit here and be shut up. You're gonna sit here and be like, hey, that's my best friend, or that's my favorite uncle, or stuff like that. So I think that's why Harry's isn't really the majority of the Potter fandom's favorite character. It's because most of us identify as Harry.
Yeah.
We're
that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And it does.
Character syndrome.
And a quick side note, I just want to get a general consensus here. Who would try to put their name, or if you were of age and eligible, who would put their name in the goblet?
Hell no.
I don't, even with how competitive I am, I don't even think I would, because there's that factor of, death.
Yeah.
I might. Because I would as has been established, I have very little sense of self-preservation. But I, for the most part, especially where I'm at in my life right now, I think I would, because I went to LA and I came back and it's not been easy for me to get into college. And so I've kind of been at that point where I feel like it's not quite my life is going to waste, but it's you
want to do something.
Right, and I think the Goblet of Fire would, if it were a thing, which sadly it isn't, it would provide that sort of...
You get to show off, people cheer for you.
I think I would, knowing the odds against me that my name would be called, I'd probably throw it in, just be like, yeah, I threw my name in, but then with my luck, it'd be like, hey, Jacob. Fuck! That's a different Jacob, that's not me. I also would just throw random names in there. hoping that IP Freely or Seymour Butts comes up. Myra Main.
I see Wiener.
See, my version of throwing random names in there, I'd put his name in, I'd put Jamie's name in, and I'd put your name in, Jake.
I would do that too.
I feel like that'd be our thing, is hey, Jake, put my name in. Why? Do it!
Because I put your name in.
Put professors' names in.
Oh! Dumbledore!
Well, yeah.
And then
Hagrid fighting anything would be amazing.
Hagrid would just hug the dragon.
Or Mad Eye.
Hagrid would lull the dragon to sleep.
No,
and
Hagrid would summon the spiders.
And then that's when Nikki left Hogwarts forever.
And that's when Josh died.
And that's when Jacob transferred to Drumstring.
Drumstring.
Durmstrang. Shut up, I'm tired. Anyway, back to the story. Now we get introduced to a whole new group of people. Stop biting my charger cord. Okay. A whole new group of people, of evil people, and that's the Death Eaters. Calm down, Nikki. Keep your pants on.
No.
Okay.
Anywho,
but we get introduced to this essentially a cult.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It really is.
And we get, and I would identify it as close enough either to the Nazis or the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, because they have pointy hats.
And not just because they have pointy hats.
Although that's a factor.
Yes, but because they have. I mean, with the Nazis, it was overall. It was multiple people.
Yeah.
With the Ku Klux Klan, it was specifically black people, and that's essentially what I think that's what they were trying to come across with people who weren't pure blood.
Yeah.
Is the fact that they're different.
Nikki's about to explode if you don't let her talk.
Go ahead.
Toward the seventh book, though, I think. Well, I mean, okay. Anyone who's in America has heard of neo-Nazis.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They're
they're more like neo-Nazis, especially toward the seventh book. They're going to kill anyone who they don't agree with. And if you've ever seen American History X and you know about neo-Nazis,
actually,
you know.
What I would compare them to in the seventh book is more like Stalin. Like I would call it. I
don't know.
Stalin wasn't genocidal though.
No, but he was more along the lines of I will kill anybody that I disagree with.
Yeah.
Or that disagrees with me is more accurate.
But that goes along to any kind of dictator ever.
Right. The Death Eaters were going after a specific group as well as anyone who was in their way.
Yeah.
So that's why
initially, yes. But by the seventh book, it had just kind of devolved to murder all the things.
So let's go ahead and say that they started as
that's
the
why
Ku
they
Klux,
built the giant anti-mudblood human
which they did in
sculpture.
the sixth book.
Let's just go ahead.
The sixth book? No, that was the seventh.
That was the seventh.
That was the seventh.
Because they never went to the ministry in the
Yeah.
sixth book.
Right.
Right.
Because you first hear about it when they sneak into the ministry.
Let's just go ahead and say that the Death Eaters start off as more of a Ku Klux Klan and evolve into
something worse.
Nazis.
Yeah, they evolve into the worst. They evolve into a mixture of Nazis, neo-Nazis, Stalin doctrine, and nightmares.
But that kind of
nightmares.
it kind of throws in because you got to look at where the setting is.
This just makes
With
me
the
sound like a
whole-
horrible person because I love Death Eaters.
But
It's okay, you are a horrible person. You Aryan person who supports Death
your
Eaters.
Tumblr URLs is unusually horrid.
Yeah.
But no, just seeing where the setting is, it's in Europe, the UK.
Yeah.
Think about where a lot of World War II hit too.
Europe.
With the Nazis.
And the Pacific Theater. Oh, what? Sorry, was that out loud?
But with the Nazis. So like I think that's she really I think that's where she probably drew. I don't know if anybody's looked it up. I think that's where she drew the Death Eaters from.
Probably. I mean,
Probably.
Was something a lot like
Yeah.
along those lines.
it's something that's easy to make an enemy.
It's easily seen as a cult and as a racist group, but like I never looked at the evolution of them, of where they started off in the fourth book and how they ended in the seventh, where they were literally killing anyone who opposed them.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the Death Eaters, like the original group, they all started off as a group of friends
At
who
a
just
school.
Yeah, I know,
a
right?
little
School's bad for you kids.
Stay out
way
of school.
too eager to listen to some kid who was crazy.
What's up?
He had a god complex because he was always told that like, hey,
It's called
You're
overconfidence.
never tell some psychotic orphan that he's destined for greatness.
Yeah, especially if he has a track record of taking other orphans into a cave and only one walking out.
And
It's
torturing
just like
them.
Jonestown.
Oh, more people died though.
Yeah.
Alright.
That you know of.
But yeah, so we get introduced to that group. I don't like the Death Eaters, but I liked the concept
them
of
as
a
a-
new threat.
Oh, I liked them as an enemy.
I
Yes,
have
that's
a
what.
habit of rooting for the bad guy.
We know.
I do too, especially in Lord of the Rings.
Unless it's Umbridge.
Well,
No one roots for Umbridge.
But the thing about Umbridge is she's not technically supposed to be it. Well, I mean, she was written as a bad guy. She was definitely written as a
Stop
bad
right
guy.
there.
But as far as bad guys go, she wasn't.
No,
This is a villain.
To repeat a joke from earlier, if I had one nice thing to say about Umbridge, it'd be she's.
yeah.
If I had one nice thing to say about Umbridge, it'd be, pink's not a bad color.
Yeah, it is.
I love pink.
Pink brings out the bitch in your eyes. But we'll bring it.
If someone said that to me, I would take it as a compliment.
Now I just need to see what like each of us would be like as professors at Hogwarts when Umbridge is there.
What subjects would we teach?
Potions, but that's already taken. I'd be his
Defense
TA.
against the dark arts or flying.
Earth magic. Oh wait, or the
Have
obvious.
magical creatures, dumbass. God.
You
Stupid!
Umbridge, you know what a Letherfold is? I happen to have one in this crate. Shit.
What would you teach, Jamie?
Either runes or arithmetic.
Arithmancy, Jamie. Arithmancy.
They have an arithmetic class. That
Why
was
would
Maybe
you
mentioned.
Hermione
choose
talks about it.
Why would you choose the most boring classes?
Well, because the
I
Vikings,
love
Boring.
runes. What's wrong with runes?
because the Vikings use runic magic.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of Vikings running around Hogwarts.
Well, it's closer
No,
to
they're all
Murder.
Victor Crumb.
He's
He was running around Hogwarts. Point, Jamie.
Yeah, in book 4, which is what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's
so, yeah. Murder.
I just need to see Jake as a professor talking to Umbridge. She's like auditing a class of his. Wow, just looking at her. Wow, like acting like he's in
I don't know
love.
if anybody's ever
And
told
then
you, but pink really brings out the bitch in your eyes.
and then you just hear everyone die laughing, except for the students who are like, "Shit."
Did
what's
you
this-
really
So,
just
what
say
happened to our defense against the dark arts teacher? Go out to the Whomping Willow and go find out.
Anyway,
I would have been fired so quick.
yeah.
I don't fucking care. It wasn't worth it.
If I
back-
get fired, I'm gonna send creatures through the halls.
But back to book 4. We were talking about Death Eaters. I don't know. I liked the introduction of them. I like the fact that they were a threat without Voldemort.
Yes, they weren't found on their own just because they were crazy.
Well, but I like the foreshadow of it, the fact that they hadn't been seen in so long, and then all of a sudden they're there.
Like you think you're safe, everything's okay, and all of a sudden,
it really sets up the calm before the storm. Like the fact that like, oh shit, they're coming.
Oh, dear God.
What does that mean about him?
Yeah.
Also, maybe, I mean, a lot of the kids, or not kids, but the students at Hogwarts, they've probably heard of Death Eaters, and it's probably something they're like, wow, that was terrible. I'm so glad that didn't happen to me. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Now it is.
You assholes!
But, again, then there's Muggle-born students who've never heard of them.
Yeah.
And Harry.
That would be so terrifying.
And especially for Muggle-born students, because they come after Muggle-borns.
Right.
They're like the Krampus of
They're
the
like
magical
boogeymen.
world, which is kind of saying something.
Yes.
I'm not upset they left Winky out, but I'm
I love Winky.
I'm upset they let one part with Winky out, and that was in the forest where she had Harry's wand.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they used that spell to show what was the previous one. And because I don't know how they described it in the book, but I always pictures what they basically did is they pointed the wand like at the ground, said the spell, and like a miniature version of the Dark Mark popped out. Like I don't know why. I mean, it's
Yeah, that's
completely.
kind of how I pictured it too.
There's no reason to show that. There really is no reason to show that.
But it's cool.
But it's just a cool thought. Like,
And it
I like
sets
the
up suspicion on Harry.
yeah, I
which is
like the
kinda
idea
fun.
of like just a little bit of magic like that, where it's just like, and then because it causes me to think like, well, what happens if they try to figure out, or what if they use that spell and the last one was, Expelliarmus or hell, Avada Kedavra even. Like, what does it show as that? Like, obviously it's not going to shoot out of the wand and kill someone.
Not to mention the concept of a wizard private eye, besides Harry Dresden, for those who read those books, is just amazing.
That would be cool.
And that would be an invaluable tool for one.
Yeah.
Like an R, but not.
Right.
Like
That was terrible.
Like a private contractor aura.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be cool.
Right?
That would be.
But no, there's little, and the movies tend to do that. They have that consistency of where they leave the little cool things out. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to be in the movie, but it would be cool to see it because it was something little in the book that interested me.
I'm mad that Winky wasn't in, I think it was the 5th movie, when she's smashed to all hell.
That's in the 4th one.
Is it on the 4th?
Yeah.
That's in every.
She's
It's near the Yule Ball.
ridiculously sad because she got fired.
I know.
She misses her master, so she gets wasted.
I wanted to see that.
She became the Malfoy's newest house elf after Dobby, right?
What, really?
Yeah.
Well, she worked at Hogwarts for a while.
Right.
Because the Malfoys fired her and let her go.
You know what character?
That's right.
You know what character makes me sad it wasn't in it?
What?
Peeves.
Yes, we know.
We've talked about this.
No, I know, but there's actually
Hang on,
a specific scene.
Josh has to make his annual Pottercast Peeves plug.
Actually, there's a specific scene in the 4th one I would love to see. It's when Harry's practicing the summoning charm.
Yeah.
Peeves shows up and starts hucking shit at him because it's like, oh, Harry's making things fly across the room at him. He must want stuff thrown at him.
Not to mention Hermione was throwing stuff up in the air for him to use it.
Right. So having
Peeves just wanted to have a good time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I miss Peeves.
I think it was cool. But no, I wasn't too upset that Winky wasn't in. I would just the one scene in the forest with Winky is what I've been fine with.
Yeah.
An expanded version on the forest in the movie, maybe actually in a forest.
Yeah. I would have liked to see just a brief mention of it, even though it was completely useless, was Spoo.
SP.
The Society for the Protection of Elvish Welfare.
Yes, which is what Hermione created. And so, because it was just, I think it was just funny. I think it was just funny to see Ron make fun of it the whole movie.
And it provided a fun insight into how Hermione's mind works.
Yes, but it gave you a better understanding of Hermione and how she really did care about everyone or all the things in the Wizarding world, and give you kind of an insight of like, well, what would she do after Hogwarts? It'd probably be something like that. Mm-hmm. If she didn't play such a big role in the battle.
Yeah.
And the fall of Voldemort.
I don't know. What were you going to say?
Oh. I would have liked to see the Sphinx.
Yes, we bring that up all the time, and I would have loved to see it. Also, blast into Scroots.
Oh, yeah.
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 I think
they're in the video game, so I wasn't too upset.
Never played the video game.
Neither did I.
Yeah, me neither.
The only video game I think I played was Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban.
Chamber of Secrets for Game Boy Color, and then
played
I was-
Game Boy Advance.
One
Okay, I was really
Played that
pissed
one.
because Chamber Secrets on the PlayStation 2 didn't let you fly the car. Chamber Secrets on the PlayStation 1 let you fly the damn car.
You can fly the car in the Game Boy Color.
Oh, well, what the fuck, PlayStation 2?
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, back to Goblet of Fire. Yeah, I never played. Prisoner of Azkaban was the last one I played, but I heard the Goblet of Fire game was pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's the one for Game Boy Advance is pretty good, but it's weird.
Yeah,
I really like the second task in that game.
I like the second task in the whole book. I thought it was a cool one, and also I like the fact that it showed more of Harry's compassionate side.
I may have tipped my hand as to which task is my favorite already.
The Sphinx. Third
No,
task?
the first
task.
dragon.
You're a dumbass. Of course. I'm a dumbass. Dragons.
But yeah, like the second task really shows that Harry just wants everyone to be okay.
Yeah.
And shows that
He's not really in it to win it so much.
he's just
Damage control.
well, and he never really wanted to be a part of the tournament.
So it makes sense that he just Where's Fleur? Where's Fleur?
Yeah.
I'm not even supposed to be here. Where is she?
Why is everyone looking at me?
But no, it gives
I actually
you.
think it might have even been a better book if he wasn't part of the tournament. I think it could be really.
It'd be
with that.
interesting.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what he would do while
Exactly.
watching the tasks.
He'd probably get involved.
Somehow get.
Yeah, but it would be more behind the scenes. I don't know. I think it'd be cool.
It'd be interesting.
yeah.
yeah.
Must write fanfic.
But no,
Be a long fanfic.
I think the second task really showed Harry's true character.
Yeah.
And that Harry just wants to help, and Harry wants to be that he wants to be liked by people, but he
He's
wants to be
a good guy.
He's just a good guy. He's not in it to be Harry Potter and to be
Harry freaking Potter.
At least
Yeah.
until the sixth book.
He's in it.
Well, yeah.
He's in it to be. He just wants to be. He wants to be a normal wizarding kid and wants to be liked by people, and he wants to help when people need to be helped.
And yet the entire that entire argument is derailed later in the series with, "But I am the chosen one."
That wasn't in the book. That was just in the. And
Yeah.
it was
still
because
funny.
it was because Romilda Vane, who was kind of cute in the movie.
Dude, I would kill for her hair.
Dude, I would kill for like half the girls at Hogwarts. Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
no
Especially
kidding.
that they're shown in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, British people, quit having ridiculously hot genes because I don't live there.
I'd even like to have the Patel sisters. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're gonna
Except for Lavender Brown, she had no neck. Maybe it's because her character wore scarves constantly.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
I didn't even.
she had no neck.
Only character to ever change ethnicity.
I know!
Although there was one character that changed houses.
And it was the black kid.
He's just a ray of sunshine, isn't he? It's like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands. Dude, dial down the creepy.
No, dude, it's the morning. Chill the fuck out, all right. But yeah, he went from Gryffindor to Ravenclaw. Yo, whatever happened.
And
But that
in his second appearance, he said something super ominous too. I don't remember what it was.
Oh,
but-
it's
The Grim.
it was about the Grim,
Oh, yeah.
and he explains what the Grim is. And it's just like, yo, you okay?
Dude, he's like, something happened at home, or
But
parents
My
are
life is a
authors.
barrel of sadness.
I'm just an
That is
empty
what-
shell in a glass case of emotions. But no. Speaking of the Patel twins, I like it, or that kind of that can kind of segue into the Yule Ball,
Oh, yeah.
and going back into the social aspect. Like you see the pressure it's put on
Yeah,
to ask a girl to a dance
Or the disappointment when you're not asked to.
with Ron asking for her. He's like, I wish they showed the scene where he asked her. And they just put that in the movie because just how they described it, he's like he just kind of shouted it at her.
Yeah.
I can just picture Ron going, "Get a ball, get a Yule-Ball with me!" And she's like,
And
"Huh?"
then he do the whole thing where he just like hides his eyes. He's like, oh god, what did I just
He's
do?
like, oh my god. But no, it was funny too because they brought out they brought a good point where Harry and at least in the movie where they're trying to ask girls and they show the montage of them trying to ask girls. And Harry's like, why do they always gotta travel with packs? He's like, you conquer dragons. Do you think you can do this? She's like, I'd rather take on the dragons.
Yeah.
I like the group of Ravenclaw girls, and then Harry walks by and they're like,
they just glare at him.
Yeah.
For no
I'm
reason.
going to the dance with you, fool.
And then, wait, 1, 2, rage.
Oh, and then he gets denied by Cho.
Oh.
I never liked Cho.
I did.
I like Cho until the 5th book.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't super into Cho. I was like, oh, that's cute. He has a crush on her, and then I think that was it. And then the 5th book, and I'm like,
I like Cho because they choose a really cute girl to play her.
Bam.
Boom.
I think it's the Asian girl with the Scottish accent. Like,
one thing in the movie, another disappointment, yes. But in the book, it's like Hermione straightens her hair.
Uh-huh.
And you don't get to see that in the movie.
Oh,
she has an updo.
Didn't care. Did not care.
Well,
Did you see Emma Watson in that scene?
No, she looked great, but
I hate updos, so I gotta agree with Nikki.
Woo!
I'm so excited because I was like,
them.
you get to see Hermione with straight hair for once. Oh, just kidding, because the director hates my life.
I think the director loved my life by the way he dressed her.
Yeah.
Good God,
Buy that
Emma Watson, marry me.
I think Jake was just directing it in his sleep.
Just marry me.
But one of my favorite moments, and it's just so crushing during that whole Yule Ball fiasco. Ron talking to Hermione.
Oh,
God, that
Hermione.
made me so
but
sad.
really sets up the future with Ron and Hermione because it really shows Ron's jealousy.
Yep.
Ron didn't. I don't think Ron cared. Ron didn't care at all that she went with Crumb. Ron cared that she didn't go with him.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he just used Crumb as an excuse, like, oh, you're fraternizing with the enemy. No, she's just not fraternizing with you.
And later you find,
Fraternizer.
I mean, and you can't hate Crumb because like people point this out. Crumb really not terrifying, but Crumb really cared about Hermione.
He really did.
And Crumb wasn't with Crumb's his all-star, famous Quidditch player.
Yeah.
And he could have anyone in that school, and he could really take advantage of that and be like, oh, I'm gonna sleep girl to girl to girl, because let's face it, there's a sex life at Hogwarts, thanks to the James Potter and Lilia.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
But he.
I just imagine it having like a heart bed that like spins around.
Well,
what did Hugh Hefner go to the school?
Yes.
Maybe.
That explains a lot.
But no, like Crumb really did develop feelings for Hermione, and he wasn't just something superficial where it was like, oh, I'm a famous person, this is a cute girl, we can be together. It's, hey, this girl's really cool and I like listening to her. And she points out, he likes listening to me a lot. And, I mean, he doesn't talk much, but that's Crumb.
Ron's too obnoxious to listen to anybody.
Yeah, Ron just doesn't.
Woo!
Ron doesn't give a shit when someone starts talking about smart shit. But no, I did like that. I did like that aspect of Crumb, the fact that he was a guy that cared to a girl who felt like she didn't matter to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think in a way he helped Hermione in her confidence and self-esteem because she's a Muggle-born girl who's very intelligent. She's top of her class in everything, and is constantly getting picked on and feels like she doesn't belong. Crumb makes her feel like she belongs and feels like, hey, like there are people out here who do care about me, and it's not just Harry and Ron who are my friends.
Even after they like break up and stuff, they still are friends.
Yes.
Okay, so I found a couple things. I was looking up Crumb, and it reminded me of a character that I absolutely loathe that was portrayed amazingly.
Who?
Rita Skeeter.
Oh, I love Rita Skeeter.
For some reason I pictured her black.
Really?
I think it was because if you look it up in here, it shows a picture of her. She looks black in the illustrations.
Yeah, well, they're black and white illustrations. So.
Well, I know, but whenever you, like if you
Indian.
if you put Harry, if you take like the drawings of Harry they have next to Rita Skeeter is drawn dark skin.
Well, she was described.
And so I like the
hair,
person who played her, the woman who played her.
She
I
did a
don't know
great
the
job.
woman's name, but she did a great job.
She played the Queen of Hearts once. Oh my god, my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
No, she did do
Hallmark version of Alice in Wonderland. It's my favorite.
It's like
Yeah, she does look black in that picture.
because she's a fucking beetle. look at the first chapter she's introduced.
I'm looking.
But no, yeah, they did. I think she was perfectly portrayed. She's one of few characters, not one of, like all characters, perfectly portrayed.
Yeah.
Because you can't picture anyone else
doing that role.
But when I was reading the book before the movie came out, for some reason, I pictured Halle Berry as her, playing her. Halle Berry was a
That
British
worked for
accent.
me at all.
I don't know why.
I'd have to see it tried first.
Yeah.
When
I'm
she
looking
fucking
now.
finds the picture in the chapter, look at it and be like, yeah, maybe.
Well, that's
And
not her.
and I was wrong about Victor taking on the dragon. He used a curse that I believe temporarily blinds the dragon.
I don't think there's
Keep
a
going.
picture.
There is a picture. I think you passed it.
Oh no, sorry.
Oh.
It's the conjunctivitis curse, and it causes the eyes to swell shut.
Yeah.
Well, but it also does show just exactly how little he cares because one, it describes it as he's the conjunctivitis curse to blind the dragon and retrieve the egg, but the dragon, confused and blinded, stumbled around and crushed half of the real dragon eggs it was guarding. Yeah.
Oh.
However, Victor lost points and tied with Harry for first place.
Yeah.
That to me,
She don't look
pure
black.
power.
She does too.
She doesn't look black.
Okay.
No, you're so wrong.
Let me see.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, what?
you're wrong, Jake. I'm sorry, but you're wrong.
Okay, I'm wrong, but for some reason she looked dark-skinned to me when I was younger.
You were young and foolish.
I guess so.
Evidently.
I did like that they changed her to a blonde though, because she
Yeah, it
described
worked.
having dark hair, but the blonde it
It just works.
made
It
her
made-
seem so.
It made her more
Nice.
annoying.
Yeah.
But no, she was a great character. Annoying as shit, but great character to have.
I
in
mean,
the,
it's
in
like
the
a
books.
totally perfect portrayal of a media
Yeah.
person.
It's
Of
like
a paparazzi. There are some media people who actually are like decent.
it's like if Colin Creevy became professional paparazzi. Like this,
Except he
He'd
was
be
a
good.
douche.
yeah, but
Yeah.
He was just over
I
enthusiastic.
love Colin Creevy.
I hated
Glad he
him.
died.
I wanted him to
Everyone
die. James just gave Nikki a venomous look.
God no! Oh my God,
no, but no, I think
What?
I like
when they take the dead bodies in the
Oh.
hall,
Oh,
and then you see
yeah.
the creepies, both of the creepies, and you're like, it's not fair.
I also like the fact that Colin
Dead
Creevy's
McCreevy.
brother fell out of the boat. On his,
Oh, that's in this one too, huh?
Yeah.
Dennis
Yeah.
Creevy, and then he has to wear Hagrid's coat.
Yep.
Which I
but
think is hilarious.
going
on
back,
its own.
going back to Rita Skeeter, like we were talking about the evolution of the Death Eaters. I like the evolution of Rita Skeeter, and how it seems
They
like she's
kidnap her.
well, it seems like she's evolving. It seems like she becomes a better person, and then I think it's like in the 7th book or something.
And
so-
she writes all that stuff about Dumbledore.
She writes about Dumbledore's death and stuff, and it pisses everyone off.
Yup.
And you see that they went through all this trouble to convince Rita Skeeter to write a good article for the Quibbler.
And
Convince or kidnapped her.
They,
Both.
They put her in a jar.
well,
funny.
it was
I would
called
get
for,
it.
but Hermione released her.
what they really need to do is they need to put her in a jar and put a match
Shake
in
the
the
jar.
jar. No. Seal the, put a lit match in the jar and seal it.
That would make the match go out. Oh, smoke death. Got it.
Yeah, let's murder.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's
We're,
just
Yes,
a
it
we're
is.
kids. We're kids in school. Let's murder.
Voldemort.
What's your point?
They're not Voldemort. They're not evil.
Yes,
Voodoo
they may be
level,
school
guys.
Kids, they may be school kids, but this is war.
You know,
Rita
if
Skeeter.
all that happened to
War.
Draco,
War
they
never
would
changes.
have done that.
Dumbledore's army went thug, bro.
They really did.
Got DA tattoos. Hell yeah.
They're just throwing on like gang signs in the hallway.
Wait, there was like the DA in our school, and we had a hand sign for it. The
Uh-huh.
downstairs alliance for.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was stupid though, because that's not the real DA. The real DA is Dumbledore's army.
Well, yeah, but
Or
I was always part
It
of
was
the
a
UC
cover.
anyway.
or the porno version, Dumbledore's ass.
Is that a real thing?
No.
It probably is. Look it up.
Probably is.
no, don't look it up.
Anyway, wow, we've gone off track.
I loved Mad Eye Moody.
Oh my god.
Mad Eye Moody, you were introduced.
It's so confusing. He's
The
so
plot
everything.
twist. The plot twist though to this
That
was
was
I know.
amazing.
That was a great
because you're
one.
introduced to who you think Mad Eye Moody is, and turns out not to be this character at all.
Right,
And
like
you
the
realize
interview with the
you
vampire.
realize that you're like, oh my god, this character's awesome. He's such a great mentor. What the fuck? And then you meet him in the next books, completely the same guy.
Yeah.
Like
So
they did.
it like, I mean,
so it can
Barty
cross over.
Crouch Jr. must have been doing his research.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
Yeah.
He was such a hardcore teacher, though.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, I did. You have that moment where I hate him, where he uses the Cruciatus curse in front of Neville.
Yeah. Oh.
That
But when he-
killed me because I just like, But then he redeems himself. And he's like,
By turning Malfoy into a ferret?
no, by
Yes.
It's
well,
not
by helping.
Mad-Eye, though.
I know it's not Mad-Eye, but he redeems himself. You think it's Mad-Eye.
You think he redeems himself.
But you got to picture, if Barty Crouch Jr. is playing this character so well, Mad-Eye would do the same thing in real life.
Exactly. That's
And Mad-Eye has shown compassion when he was actually Mad-Eye.
For different reasons, though. I mean, you think it's Mad-Eye redeeming
It's an
himself.
ulterior motive, but
Right.
but reading it
So,
without knowing what's going
here's the
on,
question.
he redeems himself and is just like, "Hey, Neville, come here, let's have some tea, and I'm sorry about this."
And the weird part is that, quote unquote, Mad-Eye Moody gets Neville into something he loves so much, but it's really like this crazy Death Eater guy, and it's
I know.
And
weird.
Here's a question for you.
He's dedicated.
So,
Do we need to
Yeah.
watch the movie after the podcast?
Maybe.
Yes.
here's just something to bring up. We all agree that Barty Crouch can play Mad-Eye Moody to a nigh unbelievable degree of accuracy, right?
Mhm.
Right.
So he's been in the under the effects of the Polyjuice Potion for how long?
A whole school year, more.
And
More.
you take a piece of the person to make it, right?
Yeah,
How do you know that doesn't influence how you think?
that's true. And you got to think
Especially
long
after
term
such a
because,
long time.
Because I don't look at one of my friends brought up is looking at Polyjuice Potion as like an alcoholic drink. I look at it as more of a drug.
Yeah.
It's gonna change you eventually if you stay on it long enough.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that
I want to
makes
know,
sense.
and
Yeah,
you can probably look it up. I
that's
want to
how
know
I
the
think you do it.
long-term effects of Polyjuice Potion. Like if you stay on it long enough, could it become a thing to where you may not
You may
permanent
lose yourself?
No, you may not need it, but you lose yourself, and then when the stuff eventually can fully transform you into the person, where you slowly stop returning fully to yourself, and you kind of become like this disfigured half and half person.
That wouldn't surprise me.
And then you wind up in the crazy part of St. Mungo's.
Yes, with Gilderoy Lockhart.
Oh God, no! If I wound up there, he wouldn't be there for long.
And Neville's parents with the gum wrappers.
But no, I think you bring up a good point. I mean, you are taking in an essence of someone. You're taking a part of them, whether it's their hair or whatever.
And in like, you find it all over in traditional pagan magic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Blood, DNA, hair, all of that is used for like various magic.
It does. You're right. It's got to influence them enough. And
So
it may
that's
not be
gotta be, like,
noticeable at
old
first,
magic.
but as soon as you start taking it enough times,
shapeshift.
eventually it is going to shape
It
you
is
into
old
that
magic.
person. a
Yeah.
bit. So
I
yeah.
wonder what the collegiate system is like for magical schools.
What do you mean?
If there's a
As-
school after Hogwarts,
Yeah.
I don't think so because it seems like people graduate because you graduate from Hogwarts 17, 18.
Right.
It seems like for some reason I think they would mention after or extended schooling.
That's probably like apprenticeship type thing.
Yeah,
rather
because-
than college.
because
Because I find
Did
it
you know-
kind of
I-
hard to believe that you become a potions teacher without any more.
Well, that's
training
probably
beyond
where the
potions
apprenticeship comes in.
Yeah.
It probably becomes more of a student teacher type deal where you shadow someone for a while and then become your own potions teacher.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if they were having a wizarding college, 4th year, you got 3 more years left. Hermione would be talking about it more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
talking
she
about
would've.
life after Hogwarts.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
be like,
definitely.
well, I got 3 more years. I got to figure out what like wizarding college I want to go to. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think Rowling's ever brought it up.
I think it's. I can almost. I mean, I'm not Rowling,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, so I can almost guarantee that it's an apprenticeship thing. Why?
Yeah.
Wizards have apprentices.
yes.
That's a thing.
Well, and also when they're studying for the owls and their newts, and like McGonagall calls like Harry and be like, well, what do you want to pursue? And Harry's like, oh, I want to pursue an R. She never brings up any kind of
Yeah,
like, well, why
right.
don't you want to go to? I think she would push after more extended schooling.
That's like
if-
why they have those tests, because it can place you into
Right.
what apprenticeship you
Yeah.
should do.
So I'm guessing that's what it is. And it goes more along the lines of traditional wizards where they have an apprentice.
Right.
And it's not like, oh, I'm going to go to wizarding college. I'm going to Wizard U. And you got Wizarding Tech across the way.
Wizarding Tech. That's the one they advertise on Wizard TV.
But, like,
ICT Tech.
oh my god. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it's an apprenticeship type thing.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But I do like the idea of, it would have been cool if they did have something like that where you could go to like a wizard type college and study your area more. So,
Question:
yes.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite competitor in the tasks in the Triwizard Tournament?
Harry.
I would go with Crumb.
Yeah.
I like Crumb because he seemed like an underdog all the time because people were always talking about his dull wit.
Right.
And
But he's cunning. Which is
he's
exactly
cunning. He's cunning, and he looks at it more from a competitor standpoint, where he wants
to crush his opponents.
He wants to crush his opponents, and I guess I can identify that in the fact
Really?
more where because I'm a jock, and I used to play sports more, and that's the goal, is that it's more about beating them as best you can, and not really, you don't look at you don't look at beating a task, you look at beating your competitors. I think that's what Crumb did, and that's why I like him. He took it from a more offensive standpoint than defensive.
which you see because he caused the dragon to crush a bunch of its own eggs.
Yes, and I mean, it shows more in the third task. I think the third task is where you're supposed to battle the competitors more than anything, because first task you have to get past the dragon, and second task you have to save someone.
Third task is a maze and a race.
Third task is a maze, a race, tons of riddles and puzzles.
A portkey.
And it's the final task. It's all out. It's whoever reaches it last or reaches it first wins. And so you got to do whatever you can to reach it first.
And
but it was totally rigged too.
Yeah,
but obviously it had to be rigged.
For a long time, my favorite competitor was Crumb.
Mm-hmm.
For exactly that reason, he is the no holds barred combatant.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really what differentiates him.
He's almost like a gladiator.
He is a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually think Cedric would be my favorite because to me he was the people's choice. He's Captain America,
pretty much. He's in the
obviously not America.
In the asset that. I think it'd be more like Colonel Britain or something like that.
Well,
but in the asset that like people, he was a nice guy. He wasn't overly competitive.
Right.
He was in it to have fun and to be in the tournament.
And he always paid his dues.
He paid his dues.
He paid Harry back for helping him out. I see him as one possible future for Harry.
Yeah. Like I said, I think he's like.
Well, yeah.
Wow, he literally is one possible future for Harry. I did read
he's also one definite future.
I did read a great fanfic that involved him still being a ghost at Hogwarts.
Oh
no, my heart! Oh,
it was a little crushing,
because
but awesome.
At first I didn't like Cedric because he was so wholesome. But then I realized that's why I should like him, because he is a great guy. He's a powerful wizard, and I don't know. I could easily see Harry becoming someone like him.
Like I said, he's along the line.
Assuming that nobody tries to shut down Hogwarts and sell Death Eaters as teachers and cause an all-out war. I mean,
well, who would see that coming?
Yeah.
Like I said, he's the people's champ.
Yeah.
He's
probably why I don't like him that much.
He's the one that like people wanted him to win.
He kind of falls under the radar for me.
Yeah.
He's liked by everyone. No one really hates Cedric Diggory. Except for Jamie. No one was really against Cedric or wanted him to lose. Everyone was kind of wanting him to win, and I think it's because he was the average. He was an average Joe.
Yeah,
he was the only person out of the four champions that didn't stand out. You had Victor, who's a famous sports star.
Yeah.
You have Harry. You have
Floor,
who not famous in any aspect, but had beauty and had all that on her side.
Vila, so she's gonna get attention.
She's gonna get attention for that. Because she's unique. Cedric's the only one that wasn't unique.
Oh my god.
Cedric was a Hufflepuff.
Cedric is the Rocky to Dolph Lundgren Crumb.
And Apollo Creed Harry.
Yep.
It makes sense. But we have a lot more to cover up too.
The third task goes into the final battle.
The final battle. Amazing scene.
I would have loved to see Cedric in the final battle, because I feel like he would have given him a shot. But once he says, okay, if you back away now, we won't shoot to kill, and they don't. Cedric's like, all right, you had your chance.
No, I don't think Cedric was fierce. Cedric was a person who would fight till the end.
Yes.
Wouldn't have lasted long.
No, I don't. I think he would, but not for the same reasons. For example, Crumb might. I think because, remember, he's particularly skilled in charms. Mm-hmm. Protega, shield charm. I think his best spell would be redirecting other spells.
He just gets so caught off guard, though, and it's, like, ridiculously sad.
I look at it like this. I think
the only reason he was put down in the graveyard was because he didn't see it coming.
I don't think it's that at all. I think what would have happened is if Cedric made it to the cup alone, same thing would happen because they were expecting Harry to make it. They were expecting Harry to be there and make it by himself.
Right.
Cedric was literally the spare. He wasn't supposed to be there, But
he was caught completely off guard.
But here's what you don't think he would have been caught completely off guard if he was by himself?
No, I'm saying that's the reason. I'm saying that's the reason he was put. That's one reason that he was able to be put down so easily. I'm saying I think he could have gotten a fair fight because remember, Voldemort wasn't slinging spells at him.
No,
that was Pettigrew.
Voldemort was a little baby thing,
and he could snap Pettigrew like a twig.
Yeah. But Death Eaters would have came.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so here's
I
what
don't know about that because remember the only reason that they came was because someone signaled them.
So it would have been just Cedric versus Pettigrew. Pettigrew's fucking stupid. So.
Yeah, and
I feel
that's no contest. That's a
I hate saying this, but I feel like you guys are undermining Pettigrew too much because he has something to prove for Voldemort.
That's true.
He did it, and he did it without question, without missing a beat. When Voldemort said "kill the spare," done. And I feel like no matter what, that's how it would have played out. Cedric, you gotta picture this. Cedric gets there with Harry, and he's there with someone who's able to kind of deduce it with him. If you show up there alone by yourself, completely disoriented, you don't know where you're going to be, you don't know what's going on. You see someone approaching, what's your first instinct? You're going to go and try to get help from them and be like, hey, where am I? Can you get me back to where I was?
Assuming I'm not me, yes.
We're assuming that Cedric did.
Right.
I see it playing out the same exact way as when Harry was there. He would have been looking around like, where am I, where am I? Someone would have started coming, and he would be like, hey, can you help me? Where am I? And without even answering one of his questions, he would have been killed.
Honestly,
I think so.
I'm at 60-40, 60 favoring, because I think the 40 is, one, if he shows up alone, and it portkeys him somewhere, one, he's had previous experience with a portkey, and the big thing there is, because Harry's there, he knows there's someone there that's on his side. Mm-hmm. If you're alone in a graveyard at night, you're going to be a lot more paranoid. And
true, but it kind of showed that he looked at it more as like it was still a continuation of the task once they grabbed it. Because if let's say you grab that, what do you expect to happen if you win? There's supposed to be fireworks to go off. It's supposed to be announced, hey, you won. You grab it, get transported somewhere else that's nowhere near where you are. You're gonna get disoriented because you're thinking, hey, I was just in a maze at Hogwarts. I don't know where I am right now. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I have no idea. I have no instructions on where to go.
Which is exactly why I would assume, and I would presume others would assume, it's not a continuation because they were very, very explicit with everything about the tournament.
Right.
And that combined with
the third task, because that once you get the cup, it's over. It's the end.
And there's one thing that I think, yes, Pettigrew has something to prove, but in a full-on fight with Cedric still has the advantage because Pettigrew's fighting because he has something to prove. Cedric's fighting to survive.
I feel like Crumb would stand a better chance than
Cedric. Oh, definitely.
I feel like Crumb.
Yeah.
Because going with the mindset of
Crumb's a paranoid warrior.
A paranoid warrior. I think he'll see it more as a continuation of it's like okay. This is transporting me somewhere. It's probably the final thing to do. And someone comes up. First thing he's gonna do, I think he's gonna fire a spell at him.
I think if it were Crumb, if he was, because this is the reason I think Crumb would do better, because I don't think he sees the tasks as a tournament. I think he sees them as a way to test his skill, like a veteran gladiator does. Yeah. So it makes no difference to him whether it's the continuation of the tournament. This is going to be a chance for him to prove to himself that he is a warrior.
I don't know. For some reason, I just don't see. I don't see Cedric ever making it out of there, even if he was alone or with someone else.
I think he could. I'm not saying it's likely. I'm saying he could.
For some reason in my head, I just picture is it playing out exactly like it did when Harry was with them. If he was alone, it would have played the exact same thing because he's going to want answers and he's going to see someone who's there. And he's going to think they can probably give me answers. So that's gonna be, his first instinct's going to be to ask, not fight.
What he'd probably do is call out. He'd probably call out to them, "Hey, hello," and then Pettigrew does what Voldemort says, right?
Yeah.
Pulls up a wand. Cedric's gonna get the fuck out the way. I mean, because he's not inexperienced.
Well, he didn't get out of the way the first time.
No, that's fair.
Anyway.
Okay, back to it.
with
let's-
Voldemort coming back, and
Let's vamp about the last fight a little bit.
Yes.
then yeah, especially the
The thingy.
I love the thingy.
Yeah. That
My favorite
thingy.
thingy.
Yeah.
This is the problem about, because of how big this book is. We skimmed over a lot of stuff.
Well, yeah, just like the movies.
that I don't really know how to pronounce it.
Prioria,
Priori Incantatem?
yeah,
That,
that's
That's the spell to...
that's the spell that locks up Avada Kedavra and Expelliarmus, right?
and then the ghosts
Yes.
come
Yes,
out,
and then
and
the
it's
ghosts-
really cool.
I
Oh.
I was really confused at first when I first read that.
Yeah, I
I had
know.
to go through those couple pages over and over again to figure out what the fuck just
Yeah.
happened.
They did it really cool in the movie, though.
Brilliant in the movie. Brilliant in the movie. And I loved it. And
Although I always wonder where all the foam comes from. Whenever
I think
Harry
it's
and
just
Voldemort do it,
dramatic.
there's just foam. And I'm just
Yeah.
like...
It's wizard lava.
Maybe.
Is that lava made of wizards?
You're talking about when the
When they hit.
When the spells hit and they're like going back and forth.
and it looks like lava's dripping off it. Yeah, so that's-
Ectoplasmic goo.
maybe.
Honestly,
like it.
you'd think it'd be more like sparks, but I like the
Well,
way it looks.
They add
Yeah.
they add sparks and they also add the dripping. So I mean, it's just
It looks awesome.
it does. One of many things they did amazing for those movies, and
Yeah.
I think what they did in the fourth one was a lot better than they did in the seventh one, part 2, when they did it for the last time.
and,
Yeah, that was kind of
and very few
anticlimactic.
in the movie, very few villainous entrances have terrified me as much as Voldemort's did.
Right?
Yes.
Because he's like spinning in the air and there's like amniotic
Not
type
even that
stuff.
so much, just how he moved. Like
I know,
He
right?
glided.
yeah, that and
Hit the robes, the way they
commanding
look on
commanding
his
the Stone
body.
Angel
Yes.
with just
Yeah.
and that and a combination of the speed and grace that he moved to Harry to put a hand on his head.
Voldemort.
Oh.
That was hands down the creepiest way Voldemort ever moved, and it was the most intimidating.
Yeah.
Yes, Nikki.
So, a couple years ago for my birthday, the Harry Potter exhibit was in town, and so we're going through whatever,
never made
and we're
it.
looking at costumes,
Yeah.
and it's that. Like, Voldemort has a couple different robes,
Yeah.
but it was that robe from the fourth one, and I just stood there and I was like,
Well, if you
This
look
is terror.
at it from the fourth one,
whoa.
it forms out of smoke basically.
I know.
It's like this black smoke that just forms around
And
it
it,
and
like,
then
the
becomes
way
his
it
robe.
clings to him and the way he moves
And
when
he
it's
moves like smoke.
the robe, and like,
I was gonna say like a snake.
Look,
yeah, kind of,
I-
but
it's-
it's too
it's-
upright for me to
Right,
look
you
at
look
him
at it as a
like a
snake.
snake.
No, yeah, but it's the way he moves his body reminds me of a snake.
Fourth movie may have been the best movie.
Not in my opinion, but that's because
One
I
of
love
the
the book so
one of the
much.
one of the best movies. It's fifth.
Yeah.
I gotta say fifth is the best for me. Then it goes probably fourth.
No, I agree.
Only because they have the best 2 fight scenes, and at the end. The only way
I like 7 Part 2 for fight scenes.
No way, dude. Are you kidding me? Nothing will beat the
love it.
fifth movie last battle between Voldemort and Dumbledore, where it is
Okay.
literally
Yeah.
it is
That's
literally
pretty great.
just them firing spells, no background music, no anything, so you can hear everything smashing.
It's so
I could go
great.
on forever about that, and we will on the next podcast when we go over book 5.
I may not be here for that.
Why?
Do you hate book 5
Oh,
as
he
much as I
doesn't
do?
like book. He hates book 5 for
My
some reason.
favorite character was killed in it.
Yes, serious.
I hate book 5 for so many different reasons.
What am I having? No.
Although it did introduce another one of my favorite characters. So.
Yeah, but no, it was a great fight sequence, and I love the Priori Incantatem. I can't say it either. And how they did it, and it was just Harry Potter. The movies and the books had a great way of compelling scenes that gave you just goosebumps, and that was one of them. And it was a very touching scene to see Harry there in the midst of all that, and his family and his parents being there like, we're dead, but we're still here to help, and
And then that carries over to the 7th one too.
with the whole
Resurrection Stone.
till the very end. We'll be with you till the very end.
Sucker punch in the face.
Sucker punch in the face. Same thing with book 4. It's like the first introduction of it. It's like we're believe it or not, we're still here with you, protecting you.
Yeah.
And God, that was such a good scene, in the book and the movie,
And it just reminds me of that picture set with Fred.
Oh god. Stop. No.
no, I know what you're talking about. Fuck you. It's not fair.
That's one death I'll never get over.
Dude, the stuff they have canon for that with what George does after Fred dies is heartbreaking. Like, my favorite thing, and we shouldn't be going over this because it's not part of the book 4, but I just want to say it really quick. Rawlings even admitted this, that when Fred died, his hand on the family clock at the Burrow fell off.
I read that.
And what George did is he took the hand and he has it as a necklace, so his brother, he's always holding on to his brother's hand. And when he looks in the mirror of Erised, he always just sees himself because all he wants to see is Fred.
Oh god, anyway.
Have you guys seen the pictures of their tombstones?
Yes.
No.
Mischief managed. It says mischief on
I'm gonna cry.
George's and managed on Fred's.
That's not cool.
I'm gonna cry.
I know, right?
I feel it. It's
I
about
know.
miles of
Okay, book 4! Book 4!
And then he comes back, and then
Voldemort comes back, and then we get the reveal of Mad-Eye Moody.
Yeah.
And
That's
wow, you
fucking
are
crazy.
actually
Right?
carrying out,
Yeah.
Josh.
I said it like
I'm
3
surprised
times.
I'm not. Because
Oh god damn it. Okay, the plot twist with Mad-Eye Moody and Barty Crouch Jr. Another thing in book 4 where I had to kind of reread what was going on. And I didn't catch on at first when he's talking to Harry in the room and he's just like he mentions the graveyard and he goes, I don't remember mentioning a graveyard.
Yeah.
like, that is so... It gives
That
me
moment was
goosebumps to even
just so
think about
scary.
it.
Just
And that's when you
in the
knew.
graveyard.
Wait, what?
And like that's when like it hits you. It's like holy shit, Harry's in some serious danger
There's-
still.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
I know. And then you have.
Josh, you need to go break a couple windows to film Manly.
I
again.
never realized this till now. Who was the first person to bust into the door? It was Snape. I still hate Snape. I don't like Snape as a character still, even after.
I liked Snape when he was an asshole.
No, I just
so-
never liked Snape, even after the whole revelations in book 7. But it didn't hit me till now that Snape was the first one to bust in there and save Harry.
I have mixed feelings, but we're gonna have just a Snape podcast.
I'd love to be there.
Okay, you'll be
Because
there.
I have mixed feelings about the guy.
But yeah, and so once again, Snape rescuing the son of the love of his life, which he was really creepy about.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But no, it was just the fact that like I thought after that, book over. After the whole fight with Voldemort, book over. We're not gonna like. There's nothing more that can really happen. He's gonna go back. He's gonna announce that Voldemort's back. They're
And
gonna
then
take
there
over
was
Cedric.
the aftermath.
wrong.
And then the aftermath, and it's like, oh wait, no, Harry's still in danger. And guess what? It's not Mad-Eye Moody. It's
By the
thing
way,
that
guys,
confused
it's Barty Crouch
The chest confused me.
Jr.
Like, what he was in. Like, I had to reread that several
So
times.
fucking
I
cool,
still
though.
didn't understand
What?
it until I
The
actually...
chest.
yeah.
I couldn't comprehend what it was until I actually saw the movie, and I
The
was
chest
like...
within a chest within a chest.
Yeah, it was like the
Okay.
Russian. It was like the Russian dolls.
Yeah.
And so what I imagine is, you open the chest, and there's another chest. But if you open that chest, then it's the first compartment, and then
So
it's
what?
fucking confusing. Magic. That's what it is.
You know what? I really would have loved. It would have like ruined the plot twist. I would have loved if Harry had been able to see a little more clearly into the faux glass. Because if Barty Crouch Jr. is a Death Eater, who's going to be enemy number 1?
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. Can a faux glass detect through Polyjuice Potion?
That's a good question.
And if we're going back to our previous theory about Polyjuice Potion, where if you're on it long enough, does
Right.
it essentially kind of start changing you into the person? Had he been on it long enough to where the faux glass
Yeah.
was fully convinced this is Mad-Eye,
Yeah? Important
Interesting to
questions.
think about.
right?
Yeah.
I also liked the little the setup and the foreshadow of it, because when Barty Crouch Jr. first comes out and unleashes the Dark Mark, licks his lips. Does a little flick of his lips. Throughout the movie, Mad-Eye's doing it too.
But he does it more... What's the word? I guess it's a little more subtle. It's
Yes.
something you don't really notice
Yeah.
at first.
And like I picked it up immediately. And stop doing it. It's creepy when you do it at me, Josh. I picked it up immediately. I mean, along the lines that I already knew. Hey, it was Barty Crouch disguised. But like my mom took me to see it for my birthday,
Right.
and was like, "Are they the same character?" And I'm like, "Who?" She's like, "The guy from the first part and this guy." I'm like, "Why do you think that?" He's like, "Because they lick their lips a lot alike." I was like, "Wow, my mom's smart." And 2, like, great job portraying it and showing that and seeing if people catch
It
on
puts
to
that
it.
little seed of
Well, because they
suspicion.
didn't. I mean, you can't really portray that in the book.
No.
and stuff. But it was a cool way of showing it and being like, hey, let's see if you catch on to this. That hey, Barty Crush, stop it. It's creepy because you look at me straight in the eyes and then lick your lips. So I was like, I feel violated. But yeah, it was. I mean, rounding out book 4 because we got to wrap it up here. Stop it, Josh. I can see it on my peripheral vision. Because we got to wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Great book in the aspect of you get to see more of the Wizarding World.
Yeah.
You really get opened up to the Wizarding World and see that it's more than just Hogwarts, it's Hogsmeade. There's more than one school out there. And for that, at least story-wise, not that convincing for me until the last about 100 pages.
It feels like really well-written fan fiction.
It does.
Yeah.
I didn't. It didn't really drive in the point that because I felt if they spent more time with the Death Eaters roaming around, there's more Death Eaters Death Eaters have been spotted on the grounds. It would have added up more to the fact that hey, Voldemort might be coming back. They didn't spend enough time on the suspicion plot like that. It was literally more about the school.
Yeah.
And what's going on in the school.
Which had good and bad points to it.
It could have been about more balanced to where it's like something's going to happen big at the end here. I mean, Harry kept having the dream about what was going on.
Right.
But that was really it. That's the only thing they really kept going back to.
Sirius talks about how Karkaroff used to be a Death Eater, and that his name got in when Karkaroff, and it leads up well enough to where you can kind of tell, but yeah, it could have been a bit more.
The story stayed kind of vague.
Yeah. But I think that was another cool thing because it leads to a great ending.
Yep.
It does lead to a great ending. It had a great build up and a great ending. Final thoughts, anyone?
I like it better that we've had this discussion. I understand more about it. It has increased itself in my esteem.
It opened my eyes to the book a little bit more that I'm able to talk about it and really divulge deeper into it.
I love this book with all my heart.
Yeah, we know.
Of course you do. James, how do you feel about it? Any kind of change in it?
Yeah, a little better about it.
Yeah, I would agree.
It serves an important function.
Yeah, definitely. And so that's going to do it this week.
All right.
Great Pottercast. Glad to have it back. This podcast, believe it or not, will actually make it out. Woo! Because no technical difficulties.
And
hopefully.
if you have questions, comments, suggestions, etc.,
links to the Facebook and Tumblr will be in the description.
And our email is nerdquesting@gmail.com.
And then until next time, you guys keep nerding on. Read Harry Potter. I gotta
cast more spells.
I gotta get Defense Against the Dark Arts.
So you better get going.
All right, guys. Peace out.
Peace out.